For the first few days of my life, I thought I was normal. Well, for the first few years. But I realized something a couple years later. I'm not so normal. Apparently my family's rich. My mom looked like almost exactly like me. She died a couple years ago. I still have my dad. Apparently, she was the mascot of a channel called Missed Up. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's certainly pretty cool. At least, so I thought. As my life progressed with this thought in my head, I kept thinking it was less and less cool. So I was like, does that mean people are going to look up to me to make decisions? Because that means I'm going to be the next mascot. So does that mean they're going to look up to me to make decisions next? Well, at least that's going to get me more money. But it never did. My life stayed the same. But I shortly after time did become the mascot. Eventually, my dad died. I was devastated. The butler said not to worry about it. You have enough money as it is. I was still devastated. This is not how it usually was in my life. He brought it to a place where he could be buried. Not the cemetery, but to someone who could bury him. I was even more devastated to see him go. Fast forward a couple years, and my life's just getting worse. I'm not even enjoying being the mascot. I mean, there are its good parts, but there also are its bad parts. There's definitely not much that's good. I mean, it's nice having a butler to do my dishes and stuff, but I make him feel like he has to do everything. Oh, don't worry, ma'am. I got this. Okay. I don't know how I do, but I do. Because for some reason, he thinks just because he's my butler, he has to do everything in the house. Non-stop. I don't get why. I always ask, do you need help? He says, no, not at all, ma'am. And just continues. It scares me, being alone with him. Because my life is not as normal as I used to think. Both my parents have died, and now being mascot is on my shoulders. I thought to myself every day. Called my pet over. I named her Julia. I call Julia every day to help me feel better. And she did. She is a dog designed to look like a skunk. Well, not designed necessarily, but that's what she looked like. I was always sick for some reason, but that's just something that runs in the family. Being sick. But the more I thought about this, the more intrigued I was. So I looked up the royal family, and I came up, which would explain why my family was chosen to be the mascots, but it also didn't make sense to me. Because I'm royalty, but wouldn't that make me a princess? Well, now a queen, technically, but I don't have a king. I used to, but he didn't die. We just broke up. I used to have a king. Well, I didn't know I was a queen yet, but because since I'm no longer, I am a teenager still, but my parents died, which makes me a queen. doesn't it? Or am I still technically a princess? I ask my butler to come here every day and ask him about me being royalty. He says, "Oh, you still know that?" I say, "Yes, how could I forget?" He says, "Well, you're technically still a princess." But every day he says something else. He says, "Well, technically you're still a queen." And I get confused from the word still a queen. It confuses me. Still a queen? I spend a lot of my time downstairs instead of in the other parts of my house. But that's probably because downstairs is the most entertaining. Upstairs I only have my bedroom, 2 exercise things, my attic, and music thing. But this is only my story. You have no idea what the rest of my life is like.